Okay, so then he gets shot, and then there's a whole pig fight.
There's the pig fight, yes.
Oh, the pig fight.
Where he turns into a pig, which is also amazing.
And then
him comforting himself.
Oh,
as you.
Self-kissing.
Let's say that it's badass to also be tender.
It's also
moments.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And
then he gets I mean, he's just like, he gets the shit kicked out of him so many times, and he never takes V to heal himself once this entire season.
Yeah, well, I don't think Sam would ever take V.
Well, I mean, if you got it, even if you just go like this
to heal,
just like Lafayette did this business here.
Yeah.
And let's just talk about Sam Tremble himself. When he was you being him, but he being you.
Yeah.
And the walk.
It was so good.
Literally, yes, you just snorted. You just snorted. That was honestly, that was my favorite part of the season. That little scene in the hospital.
So good, right?
He's just working it. I'm like, dude, how do you do that?
It's funny because we talked about it a lot, you know, and I didn't make Luna a really girly character. So it was like, so what was he gonna choose? I stayed out of his way. I mean, look, we saw how brilliant he was being Tommy. He was a perfect, scary, perfect Tommy. So I just stayed out of his way, you know, and so I loved this swish. I thought it was very
it's a tremendous
hilarious.
cast. I mean, it really, I mean, you're here, but like it really,
no, it is. It's kind of crazy to end up on a show with such talented people
and to be one.
Well, thanks. But I mean, it really is kind of. You go to work and you're like, holy cow, these people are just so beyond talented. It really is. You're kind of in awe of them at all times.
I want to ask you, what do you see? What would you like to see in your character? Where would you like Luna to possibly go? Because from last season to this season, your transition, as Bill said, I think the theme this season was evolving. Everyone evolved. That was the word.
Evolving and progeny.
Progeny,
Right.
And bromance, and history lessons. Yeah, there was a lot going on. But I would say, you know, it's this year. It wasn't. I don't think. It wasn't so much that Luna even got a chance to evolve. She was just so completely scared for her daughter the entire season, you know, that she didn't. I think we got to see more sides of her that were not so attractive.
She was Mama Bear, though.
She was a Mama Bear. I mean, it was awesome kicking the shit out of somebody completely naked and just like being ugly and scary.
Let's
and
high five over that.
Yeah, you know,
that's
like
awesome.
Yeah, and you know, I had all of these conditions before I auditioned for the show. I was like, well, I'm not doing it if this, you know, and as it pertains to nudity when it comes to shapeshifters, because we're not even really that connected to our own bodies, we could be anything. It's so non-sexual, and this year Luna is just not a pretty person, and I was so happy to have to get naked at the moments when she was at her ugliest. I was really happy to do that, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look back on it and not be so happy later and be like, why did I look so bad? But, you know, whatever. But I'd much rather it be, you know, the juxtaposition of ugly and, you know,
that's why next season I
is
think
much more.
Might be really great for you. I mean,
I'd love to have my clothes on next season, though.
They're not going to let you do that.
That's not going to happen on True Blood.
Hey, I got through like eight episodes completely clothed.
But you were Mama Bear. I remember when that first happened, Jenna and I were like, well, what would you do? You know what would you do?
Yeah.
What would you do? This is your kid. I would say the same, because when Sam and Luna have that fight, you know, I'm like, I would say the same thing.
Like, I've known you for how long?
You know, you're telling me about my kid?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's I do understand that. It's so funny because, like, you know, I'm a fan also, you know, so I'm like, just be nice to him. He likes you. He just wants to be part of your family. You know,
so cute.
So I'm like chewing him out, and then I'm like, oh, it's so sad. You know, it's really a funny day at work, you know.
But she might feel that way too. I mean, internally, she might kind of have that internal struggle.
Yeah,
with herself.
I think she's like
clarity.
Yeah, she's like, this is my kid. Period. Her father died yesterday. Watch it, buddy.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that was an emotionally fraught thing. Like,
yeah, she's like, you don't get to actually say what you don't get to. You can say what you want, but you don't actually get to put any of that around her because she's my child. So.
Plus, my kid's a cute puppy.
Plus, how adorable.
Yeah.
I think what you were saying, we've always been saying that we feel like one of the biggest themes for this season was progeny and lineage and dealing with your lineage.
Yes, and your legacy and all of those things.
Yeah. And so I think that a lot of people represented different. It was like a prism, you know, and people represented different aspects of that, and you got to be the mama bear.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's why we love characters like Ripley and Sarah Connor, because the reason they're kicking so much butt, I am a sci-fi nerd, by the way, is because they're motivated by this maternal love, which I think makes it all the more fierce. So
Speaking of maternal love, Pam and Tara.
Oh my God.
Let's be honest.
Oh my God. Did you just we called this last week, and I was
called it last week.
I didn't think it was going to happen this fast though.
No?
No, I didn't see it.
You thought they were going to drag it out?
Yeah, I totally thought they were going to drag it out.
So do you remember how everybody was like, oh my God, incest at the beginning of this season?
A little more.
But nobody's calling incest on that situation.
I am.
So
are you? Yeah, honestly, and the reason is this: I'm actually more okay with Eric and Nora. Oddly, not because I think brothers and sisters should make love with one another, but just because like they had established that he has a sexual dynamic with Godric, with Pam. You know, I wanted Tara because she had such a poor mother, such an absolutely narcissistic beast of a mother her whole human life. I wanted her to have a safe, healthy, nourishing mother-daughter relationship, though badass, because it's Pam and Tara, with Pam. And I think you cannot have that and be lovers.
Well, I guess that's what we'll find out next year, right? I mean, it's one kiss, so who knows?
Yeah,
if
they
it's
could just
going
be
to turn
hooking
into or yeah, exactly. Or it could just be a kiss, you know. But
is just
what do
a
you
kiss.
think?
No,
I feel like JC has a
because
theory
somehow
on this.
because they always set you up and go the opposite direction more often
From
than
what
not.
you expect.
Yes,
Right.
They always set it up that way.
Yeah.
Like literally, when Andy and Holly were so happy, was it the last episode?
How
right
cute
before
was their
Morella
little
walked in?
date? Their date at the
Yes.
bar.
I love them together.
them. I know,
And now,
I know.
And that's how they set it up. So I'm sure Tara and Pam, something's going to happen to split them apart, and it's going to
We'll see.
drag that tension on for next week and next season.
Andy
That's-
Belfleur. Chris Bauer plays Andy, and Chris is in shape. I mean, his body is like on point.
What happened to him from season 1 to season 5? The boy's yoked.
Well, I didn't know him season 1, right? But I mean, since I've known him, he's been looking good. So when the drunk patron is like, "What, Andy? When did Andy Belfleur get
Jane,
so
yep.
hot?" That got a big cheer also at the table. We're like, "Yeah, go Chris!"
well, we love Andy. I mean, he's just
Stud boy.
do it. Oh no,
that's
it's your mom
Yermon.
that does it.
Yermon
that
are,
does.
yes. I like the way you talk. It sounds more like saying.
6.
Yes,
And that was good. Yeah.
that's for Yermon, our Yermon Gurr, our host. He couldn't be with us this week, but yes, that's for you, Yermon, buddy. He does his weekly Andy impression.
Oh, funny.
And it's pretty darn good. We call him Sling Blade.
Sling Blade.
Sling Blade.
Sling Blade meets Andy
yeah.
Belfleur.
Yeah,
That's funny.
It's a little combination of the two.
Oh, I just have to say this quickly. I just got a text. People are trying to call in and not getting through, so I just wanted to check with our
Our lines are busy.
Our
Fix it.
I know.
Fix it now.
I know. Oh, and also, I want to talk about how Jessica was like, I called it. Like,
I knew it.
So cute.
I loved watching her and Tara decide to be friends last week.
I know.
Too.
Yes.
That was really
I loved
nice.
that.
It felt like, you know how when you're in first grade and you meet somebody and you go, do you want to be friends?
I know.
And then you decide to be friends, you know? So that's what I just kind of felt like it was going, I like talking to you, so.
So where does Jessica go then now?
Yeah,
Because I know
that's kind of what I'm wondering too.
Jason kind of rebuffed her
that's
love.
I didn't even think about that. What is she going to do? She has no, I mean, her dad is
Daddy's
Billith
crazy.
now,
Yes.
so what?
Daddy is Billith. Jason
And threw her across
rejected
the room.
her.
Also,
Boy
moment
went
from last episode 11 when written by Angela Robinson, Angela, who used to write on the L Word, which was my first series. So, and it was awesome having her this year. It's kind of awesome in full circle. She wrote that episode, and she was saying that how when he says, "Oh, do you think you can outsmart me?" I can't do it. I can't do his Southern accent, but he's like, you will take Jason and you will turn him, and you know, and he's looking at her and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, you're gonna do that. You're gonna do that," and because he's so sort of sweet about it, it's very chilling.
Yeah.
you know, and but I feel like it was, you know, he has kids of his own. Stephen has kids of his own. I was like, I bet that's what he's like with his kids.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? And they can't get away with anything, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You look like a strict dad, like, for
I think
2
he's
seconds.
probably really different than his character. I think he's just
Everybody
like really
is
funny.
Everybody is very, very different than their characters.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, let's go through it. Let me tell you
Okay.
what everybody's like.
Okay,
Start from the
Eric.
top.
Well, we know Kristen too. I mean, we know Kristen's not like
Kristen
that.
Kristen
is
is
not
like
like
the
that.
sweetest, and also very, you know, whereas Pam is like the most confident. She's like, really, you think so? Oh,
Really?
And she's like an animal activist.
Yeah,
and-
yeah,
which we love.
yeah.
What about Eric? What about
let's talk
Alexander?
about Alexander Skarsgård.
He's so cute. Like, I think the first real time I saw him, because I've never worked with him, right? He was like, popped his head in the trailers. He was like, hi, good morning. Hey, good morning, ladies. Do you want some coffee? I'm gonna get some coffee. Do you want some coffee? Like, he's just so sweet. Yeah, he's a total sweetheart. He's very skinny right now because he's doing a movie where he's doing a movie where he has to be very skinny and he's like looks so malnourished and I don't like it at all. And if you watch that episode, you can see his face.
You can.
Makes
Totally
me very upset. I mean, he's probably like a tall, skinny Swede anyway if he doesn't work. I don't know if he's like one of these people. I don't know. But he's just was so skinny the last few days. I like hugged him and there's nothing there. It makes
I feel
me
like
very
we should
upset.
all send him cookies.
Yes.
Well, apparently he's not eating them on purpose because he's got a job. So, you know.
We'll send him cookies in a
After
month.
he raps.
He
So
may
After
not
he raps.
appreciate that.
He'll
may
be like,
not-
thanks, guys, trying to work and be good.
you got me thinking about like the characters now. You say they're so opposite
They're
from
very different.
So let's say like Joe.
Joe is, Joe's funny. Joe's funny and very sort of like, whatever. You know, he's like, I'm a freak. What? I'm a freak.
Like, 'cause on the show, he's like honor and code.
Yeah,
and, you know.
he's just like, oh, yeah, I'm hungry. You know, like he's a dude, you know, and in the best sense, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I actually have to plug something because I'm shameless. But Joe is going to be a guest on my show with Stan Lee, Cocktails with Stan.
All right. Yeah, I was going to email him.
Yeah, so we're shooting on Wednesday, but it's going to be in the next couple weeks. So make sure you go to youtube.com/World of Heroes.
Yeah, Joe's a lot of fun.
I
and
can't
completely shameless. He has no problem grinding on anyone at any time.
I will remember this for the show.
We've
Really?
seen Magic Mike.
Janina, you just gave her the green light.
And then he's going to yell at
Jenna.
me. He's going to be like, did you tell Jenna that I was going to grind on her? Why did you do that?
I'm not going to complain if this happens.
He's an absolute sweetheart. He's a very real person. So just have fun. He's
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm very, very psyched. All right, I'm done plugging now.
Okay,
but-
nice. I'm trying to think.
How
any
are
other
you? How are you different than Luna?
Let's see. I don't have a baby, so
Or a puppy.
or a puppy.
Nor do you turn into animals.
I don't turn
we
into
assume.
animals, and I don't know. I mean, she's much more mature than I am. You know, like I would say. Yeah, I mean, just because she's like a real grown up, and I'm like fighting the grown up thing at all times.
Nice.
You know.
Nice. You're a little more free spirited. You don't have you don't have a child. You don't.
I don't.
have,
I don't have to. I don't have these major things that are happening. You know, that I have to really worry about. Like there's so much anxiety in her life, and I'm get to kind of shy away from being a grown up.
Well, you just talked about what's going to happen with Luna next season. You pretty much have
have
a
no idea what's
target on your forehead right now from the vampire. No, I mean she does. Listen, on national television, this is the shifter that announced that shifters exist,
Which was awesome, by the
which
way.
is awesome, and then B announces that some of them turn into other human beings, terrifying for most people. I assume most human beings
Now
are already
everybody's
freaked out.
completely confused.
Now
Like, what
everybody's
just
confused.
happened?
What just happened? I can't trust anyone. It's invasion of the freaking body snatchers. And 3, outed the Vampire Authority on national television. So she just has a big target on her head.
Well, the only authority member left really is Bill.
Is Billith.
Is
Bill.
Billith.
Billith.
Well, sure, but then now what?
Now
Do you know what I
what?
mean?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to come in besides the demon god or whatever he is, the dark god. What did Eric call it?
She's a vengeful.
She's a
She's a-
chaos god.
I don't know what it was, but yeah, she's pissed off.
She's not.
She's
not,
pissed.
not nice.
She is
Not
not.
nice.
She's not
bunnies
so
and
happy.
rainbows.
She's not so much.
She's
Yeah.
not bunnies and rainbows, but that's one thing that obviously that you're gonna have to contend with, or Luna's gonna have to contend. with.
Yeah. Yeah.